Do you have a backyard that you're not too proud of? You're thinking, well, I'd love to have something, but it's too small and I can't possibly fit the things I see on HGTV in my backyard. In this video, I'm going to show you some backyard landscape ideas that are going to save you time and money for a small space. Welcome. This channel is dedicated to DIYers, landscape lovers, and those interested in landscape design. If this is your first time to the channel, my name is Bobby K. I'm a professional landscape designer, and I create landscape designs that people love, which connect them to what's important to them. Let me ask you a question. Have you thought about what's important to you? Better yet, have you thought about why having an outdoor space is important to you? Maybe you're on a softball team and you like to have the guys over after the game and do some grilling. Or maybe you're a parent and you want to be outside with your kids and play in the backyard. Or maybe you're like my client Randy. Picture this. You're walking through a beautiful home. It's got the big chandelier, it's got the open concept kitchen, it's got the big screen TV, and it's a nice open floor plan. You get to the back door and you open it up and, well, what do you think you would see? Beautiful landscaping, trees, bushes, patio, fire pit, all that awesome stuff, right? That's not what we get with Randy. You open up the back door, you walk out onto his deck, and all you see is a tiny little space that's got a pool and furniture that take up everything. Let me tell you something else about Randy. He doesn't like his pool. He doesn't swim. The only time the pool gets used is when his grandkids come over, which is only a couple of times. So unless they're swimming, the backyard is not getting used. The other thing about a pool is you got to open it, you got to close it, you got to maintain it. It's expensive, and it's just a constant reminder every time he looks off his deck at how much he hates his backyard. So do you remember when I asked you what's important to you? Why do you want an outdoor space? When I was talking with Randy, I found out exactly why he wants that. He wants to spend time with his grandkids. He told me a story about when he went camping with his father and how they sat around a fire and they told ghost stories, and I could just see his face light up because he was reflecting on the memory that he and his father had created. This is what we want to bring to Randy. He wants to sit around a fire. He wants to tell the same stories that he and his dad did to his grandkids and share those memories. If it wasn't enough for Randy that he hates his pool, he has no place to hang out with his grandkids, he now has like a hodgepodge of materials going on back there. There's a deck in the back, there's river rock going on, and it's just like hard on the eyes. It's not soft, it doesn't look pretty, and it's just something that doesn't work back there. I'm sure you've seen a house like this before, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna clean all this stuff up and we're gonna open it up for Randy. So we've laid out all the problems that Randy has with his backyard, and I'm sure that you can relate because I'm sure that you have some of the same issues that Randy has. It's solution time. We're gonna fill in the pool, we're gonna get rid of all that furniture and open up the space. Step number 2 is now that we've got all the clutter out and the pool's filled in, let's start to use the space. Let's put in a paver patio, let's put in a seating wall, and a nice fire pit so that Randy can share those memories with his grandkids. Step number 3 is let's make this thing as low maintenance as possible and beautiful at the same time. Let's put some nice beds in around the outside of the paver patio and the fire pit area. And where the decorative rock is, let's take out that area completely and put in synthetic turf so it has the appearance of grass, but he doesn't have to lug a lawnmower down those stairs and cut grass. It just doesn't make sense for him to do that. Now he's got the look of a lawn, he's got beautiful landscaping, he's got an awesome paver patio, he's got a fire pit to share the memories, and he doesn't have a pool. When I first met Randy, he had anxiety about his backyard, he had anger towards his backyard, and he didn't really see a solution on what he could do with the backyard. Now that we've created this design for him, he's starting to see the light on what the space can be and how he can enjoy it with his grandkids. What I want to do now is give you out some bonus tips to save you some time and money. Bonus tip number 1, when you're deciding on what shape you want the patio to be, I think it's important to think about the theme of the backyard. If you're choosing to go with more of a native look, which is what we did for Randy, I would suggest going with a paver patio that has more curves and kind of flows along the beds versus those hard right angles that you might see in a contemporary design. Tip number 2, which will save you some time and money, is deciding how big you want your paver patio to be. The bigger the patio, the more expensive. It's usually broken down a price per square foot based on if you're doing it yourself or you're going to hire a contractor. A general rule of thumb, if you're hiring a contractor, is anywhere between, say, $16,000 to $24 a square foot. It depends on the type of paver that you pick. Some are more expensive than others. What's important to know from a design aspect is if you can only afford a certain budget, you can shrink down the size of the patio, but you can enlarge the surface around it so it actually still looks like a nice size space, but you're just kind of tightening up that hardscape part that costs you a lot of money. Make sure you can put your table and chairs out there and you're good to go. Tip number 3 has to deal with the spacing of the plants that you pick out. What I mean by that is pay attention to the tags that are in the containers. If you are planting a bunch of smaller plants, it's not going to look as full at first and you're going to have a little patience. If you pay attention to the tags, it's going to tell you how wide and how tall they're going to get. What it really means is you don't have to pay for a full-size plant right off the bat, and you could save a lot of time and money that way. I'm sure that you can relate to some of Randy's problems because you probably have them in your own space. And listen, if you're not quite sure how to take the information in this video and apply it to your space, if you just don't see it, go down in the description below and click on my website. I'm happy to do a Bobby K design for you, and I might even do a YouTube video out of it. If you enjoyed this, consider subscribing, hit the like button. I'll see you on the next one.